and of course Air Peace Diplomacy Awards Media Parley. I'm Kike Lomatondao, the CEO of ZX Consulting. I'm also the convener and chief host of Real Talk with Kike on Silverbird and of course on Inspiration FM. A contemporary famous talk show. I know quite a number of people will tune in. As the event coordinator of today's of this event, not just this is the first leg of the event, I'm honored to stand before you all to mark the press briefing and of course the media party of this significant event.
First of all, let me use this opportunity to thank you all for coming and at the same time to apologize to you all for my late arrival. It was unintended. My wife woke me up more than 7 times, and when she got angry, she went to church. My son, I don't know if he's still around, he also tried to get me up, but I think I went to bed around 6 a.m. You know the kind of business we do, you can never say never. I mean, anytime you have to be up. And for someone like me who is very hands-on and always disturbed, there are very little things. I was awake till 6. I went to bed around 6. Hence, I'm just coming now. So I'm very sorry, please. I apologize for keeping you gentlemen and ladies waiting for me. Thank you. Thank you for coming. I think I am the least of the people here to speak. Because this whole idea was broken or maybe started by Ushage. I met him sometimes, and each time I saw him, I know there's this excitement in my spirit. Why? Because I love this country. And I thought that there are a lot of things wrong with our nation. Some little basic things that we all neglect. And those things could help in nation building. Those things could help in, energizing and encouraging those coming after us to believe in the nation called Nigeria and to know that when they do something for the sake of the nation, they will appreciate it. But this country is, we are into, we don't, most of the time, it's not just the government. I don't want to be blaming government for everything, but the citizenry also, even the corporate bodies, should also imbibe that spirit of trying to do those things that will encourage nationhood, building up the nation in the right way. A lot of things go wrong today because of issues like that. We are not proud of our nation. Most Nigerians are not proud to be called Nigerians. We are all complaining about the ills of the society, but nobody is doing anything about it. You don't have to be a president to contribute your quota. Because sometimes, I have to say this, because most times when I do those things I do, because of the heart God has given me, I am not rich. I'm not wealthy. The difference is that I have a very rich heart, not rich in money. So when you have 10,000 naira and you're able to give out 9,000, it will look as if you have a bottomless pit of money. No, it's the richness of heart that brings it out. Not richer than anybody. So it pains me that such a nation, where we have the kind of diversity that would have given us the kind of strength that would have been the envy of all nations, we allow it to rot away. So it pains me right from the days of Serenity up to this moment. So when I do such things, some shallow-minded people will say it's publicity stunt. I don't give a damn about what anybody. I have no apologies to anybody for doing that, which God has told me to do. And I have no political aspirations or intentions in all I'm doing. because what kind of political intention would I have as a secondary school student? When I was 15 years, I mean 10, from the age of 10, I was sharing my provisions with students I thought they were maybe less privileged than myself. So I have no political intention. I have to say this because each time I step out to do something for Nigeria, I end up being fought by government officials. And it pains me, it hurts me. Anytime I step out to help this country, those who are supposed to applaud me or applaud what I do or encourage me to continue doing more so that others will emulate that and help the causes of nationhood are those who will be fighting me for nothing. For nothing. If they are not telling me it's publicity stunt, even to an extent that even a top government official went on television and was castigating MPs for doing for believing in corporate social responsibility. I've never seen a thing like that in my life, where a government official, a top government official, will go on television and be discouraging things like that instead of encouraging them. Am I going to go to my grave with my wallet? Am I going to go to my grave with my bank account? No, just sit down here and close your eyes for once. As you're sleeping, you don't even know what is happening around you. Nobody knows when it will come. So, if one decides now to do and help the causes of nationhood, it becomes a target. Yes. Alan Oyema is a target for them. FP is a target for them for my trying to help my country. And it's unfair. It is unfair. It is unfair in this country. It is unfair. The last one I did, Sudan, caused a lot of problems for me. Just because parents were calling me and asking me, is there any way you can help? But there are people who are stranded. I said, okay, have you gotten in touch with your embassies? They said no money to do that. So, okay, instead of people dying, let me deploy my jets and bring Nigerians back free of charge. Because if you start asking for money, you waste more time. I know what it takes to go through bureaucracy to bring money. I said, let me just do it. I didn't know I was looking for trouble. I was hated, not by the people I helped, not by the ordinary Nigerian masses, but by people in government. Yes, by people in government, and they should all be ashamed of themselves. It's not for me to be mentioning names, but I was hated for doing that. So now, as I was coming here this morning, some members of family were saying, now you're going to do this again. That's another trouble beckoning. Oh, it must be publicity stuff. They can go to hell for all I care. I'll do that, which God has taught my life to do. We are talking about Nigerians who have given their all to the nation. We are talking about Nigerians who have made us proud in the years past. We're talking about Nigerians who have been forgotten by their nation. Is that how to build a country? You make promises to them, you don't fulfill it. We're talking about Nigerians who in their prime had everything going for them, would have been able to use the Olympics of 1976 as a stepping stone to achieve the kind of life they will achieve for themselves and their family. They arrived in Montreal, and the nation beckoned on them to jettison their profession, to jettison their opportunities. How many people will do that? Some Nigerians, those Nigerians are our heroes, to jettison the opportunities that we are staring them very forcibly, come back home because of a cause the government that time was portraying. There was apartheid in South Africa, in the southern African nations, and Nigeria was in the forefront, in the frontline states, trying to extinguish apartheid in Africa. And Nigeria led that boycott of the Olympics on the eve of the Olympics. These Nigerian athletes and others had arrived in Montreal, settled in their hotel rooms, preparing for the opening ceremony the next morning. And a call came that your nation had boycotted the event. These athletes, in absolute show of respect for their nation, packed their bags and baggages, entered the next plane, and came home, fighting for a cause. How many people would do that today? How many people would do that today? Because those who did it before were not honored. How many people will pay such cause? They will say, I beg, this is the time to jack back. Or that if you do it now, nobody will listen to you. Those athletes would have disobeyed the country and remained in Montreal to participate in the Olympics if you bring it back today. Because those who did it were not really honored by their nation, forgetting that you've already destroyed their youth. Some of them would have gone into professional, some professional sports to make their livelihood. Some of them have already died in penury. The ones that are alive, nobody even knows them. These are the people I discussed with Shego that we cannot continue to talk about Nigeria. Everybody cannot be governor, everybody cannot be a senator, everybody cannot be a president. Where we find ourselves, we should contribute to nation building. So when I saw him, I said, how about those people? Why not we honor them? Make them feel wanted in their nation. How about those who won the African Cup of Nations for the first time for our country in 1980? Some of them, if you see them, you won't believe what you're seeing. Such national heroes, no country forgets such heroes. What they did in 1980 brought the country together. I still remember as a kid, in those days, seeing Shagari, President Shagari at the National Stadium, even waving the, he too, he was in the crowd there when it happened. The country became one. Anything anybody could do to make this country gel, to live a kind of life that will transcend our ethnicities and religions, and we encourage it. And everybody should encourage it. That's why I think that honoring those Nigerians who sacrificed stirring opportunities for the sake of country, for the love of nation, and came back from that Montreal Olympic Games without participating in honor of the call. I think it was President Ambassador that was in power then. We have to honor those people. We have to bring them back and make them proud of what they did for the nation. We have to use them to encourage the youths of today that your sacrifices, your actions geared towards nationhood or nation building will never ever be forgotten. We want to start today so that others will relate, government will relate what we are going to do on July 28th, so that Nigerians will start having hope in their nation. Those of them who won the first African Cup of Nations are part of the group we are going to honor. A wall of fame, I'm sure, has already been built. We promise that we'll build a wall of fame where their names will be written in gold at the Niia. And I'm sure, as I speak to you, that wall of fame, I'm sure, is up now. On July 28th, it will be unveiled. With their names there, on the 9th of July 28th, they will all be honored. Whatever we are going to offer them is not the end of the game. Other corporate bodies are being enjoined here to come on and see what they could do for those people and their families. What they did is unbelievable. when, I think it was last year, yeah, it was last year that my daughter presented me an occasion at the Niia and made this announcement about what we are going to do. On that day, we are going to offer them some financial rewards. APs will do that. APs will also make sure those of them that are still alive have free tickets for the rest of their lifetime, flying APs domestically. They will have 12 return tickets. That's 24th every year. So that means every month they are flying on APs free of charge. At the same time, APs will give them one international free ticket to any of the countries we are flying they wish to go, free. While at the same time, honoring them with a token of an amount we are going to announce on that day. And we are going to make them our ambassadors also. And that will also come with some considerations. We just do this just to encourage them, and it's not going to increase their bank accounts, to be held, but at the same time, we want to make them understand and know that even though they've been forgotten for such a long time, there are people and institutions that still remember them. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you for having me. I think I'm really proud to be a part of this, to be there from the inception, and to also bring someone that is in my generation, so to speak, into the limelight of what it is to be a patriotic individual of this nation. I feel this is in a way of fostering that idea that Nigeria is not just a hopeless nation, that we actually believe in you making sacrifices for the nation. And it's that's when you begin to see things that way, is when you begin to follow it through, basically. So yeah.
Given to the awardees. And of course, we can only pray for longevity, sparkling of health for you when it comes to the contribution you are making in the nation building. So we'll be moving on to the second session of the event, which is the media party and publicity. But before I call on who will be touching on that, I would first of all like to quickly do a small introduction about him. Because when we talk about soccer in Nigeria, there's none other called the mathematician, but this great soccer hero who has won Nigeria numerous medals and have brought us pride on the pitch of football. In the 70s, the football, I wasn't born in the 70s, but at least I was born in the 80s, and history reminded me of certain things thanks to Google, and it was one of the football commentary that you hear when people are talking about football in Nigeria, soccer in Nigeria. When you hear on the radio waves, it's Shego Degbami, and it's a what? So much is it? Yes, that's what you hear, and it's a goal. So a highly prolific footballer, in the years, and of course a fantastic sports builder in the nation, still jotting us to the rest of the world when it comes to sports. And of course, we'll be attending to questions from our editors, the senior editors right there. I don't know.
So this project, the only thing I will add, this project is that many of those who are going to be involved, they will not only be involved by name, because of the 45 athletes that represented Nigeria in 1976. Easily close to 20 of them are dead. So they will not be physically present. Of the balance of people who are supposed to come, because I have been in direct contact with them, half of the balance are either sick or on their, they can't walk well, or have just had surgery or something like that. In fact, the group of 1980, 6 are dead of the group of 1980. And at the last count, 5 of those who were supposed to come, they will still come, and you all will see them. They have one major incapacitation or the other. So it is a truly, truly sad situation. I am not a good example of the product of 1976 or 1980. With gratitude to God, but I tell you, even as I sit, I know the burdens and baggages that I carry. They are not, what you see is just optics, but deep down, it is not how it looks. So our thanks can never be enough. We are all looking forward to July 28th, which we trace our history from 1976, take it to 1980, it will touch on first act of 1977, and it will also project into the future for 2034. So what we are doing is massive, and we are forever grateful. I just urge all you, the media people, our friends from affiliation, who are teaming up with friends from sports for the first time in our history. It has never happened before. I said the combination is lethal.
Yes, sir.
I know that when you go and unleash this,
Yes, sir.
and this country will change. You will start to see what it means to appreciate the labor of ordinary Nigerians who are contributing to good causes in this country. So please go out and help us do the needful. By the special grace of God, the creator of the universe, who sees all and knows everybody's heart, it will be well with all of you.
Amen.
So help us promote July 28th.
Many thanks, sir. Any questions?
I'm a prospective awardee of this program, and I'm here to listen to, the speech of the chairman of Air Peace, who has taken it upon himself to put this program together, and to thank him on behalf of all generations of Nigerian sportsmen, particularly those who went to the Olympics, didn't participate at all, but who are to be remembered, to be honored, and to be rewarded for their sacrifice to the nation, for the nation. And for the 1980 team, of which I was also a part, who helped cement this country diplomatically, at a very crucial time in our history, in 1980. He has taken it upon himself to honor these two groups. So I cannot but say thank you to him. That's why I'm here, to listen and to thank him. And we are very, very grateful.
A kind gesture has always, from Parley, whose middle name is magnanimity. He reaches out. Like he said, it's not because he has it, but because he has and likes to reach out. If you want to put a figure to all of this, I know you may be wary not to mention figures because of your critics. How much could be put into a project like this, which is like a memorial for those who have sacrificed their talent for Nigeria? And I'll look at it from the second angle, sir. You have called on other private sector players to emulate your good gesture to make this quite memorable. Could you be specific to a bit mention the sectors, maybe the banking sector and other sectors who you like to partner with to see this to become a very continuing project? It shouldn't just be a one.
Because I don't even know. I don't even know. And everything they involved in doing, so I don't even know. However, if I know, Kevin, maybe I'll tell you with confidence. Trust you. And I won't want it to come out because you don't want criticism. Yes. The most important thing is the remembrance, acknowledging that some people do something for this country. On
Other partners would be
other partners. I will not be able to name particular, but the corporate the world in Nigeria should step in. Individuals should step in. They can step in and do something. Everybody, not limited to a particular sector, but to some sectors. not necessarily on July 28th, but going forward, they can still announce their own budget.
I'm overwhelmed, I must confess, and honestly, this is a very fantastic program. For the very first time, people are always thinking about the living. People are always thinking about people within their environment. But this time, we are going back in history. And of course, you know what they say, somebody, if you go without history, you will not go well. Going back to 1976 and 1980. Like we mentioned here, I was still growing up when I heard about 1976, but I read so much because I was so much interested in sports. And indeed, if you remember people who were at their peak, people who were at the top most level of their career, who were going to make history for Nigeria, if you just put yourself in that shoes, remember that you are going to be the number one in the world, and suddenly the whole thing crashed down. And since then, so many of them, like we had, so many of them died, so many of them, that trauma, was not, some of them could not bear it. But then here we are now, somebody remembering them, somebody just thinking about them, thinking about their families, trying to bring them up. Like I said there, I think it's just one of those lines that moves me in our national anthem. The heroes of our heroes past shall not be in vain. That's absolutely what this encapsulates. And I did very, very grateful, and because there is nothing that unifies the nation other than sports. And indeed, for Chief Onyema, the owner of APs, he has demonstrated, his love for his nation, for everybody. I think for now we should be talking about Nigerians and not about tribes, who you are. We are one. There is only one blood, same blood that is in you, that is in me. I think that if Nigerians, if we put our hands together and do this, I think Nigeria is one of the greatest. And in sports, we have shown signs that we have a thicker skin to do better things, better results. And I'm so happy, so overwhelmed, that somebody will come up with this type of fantastic idea of remembering those who started this journey that is yielding so much millions, multi-million naira into Nigerian economy. Talk about sports. There is no other thing that can bring this type of, money into Nigerian system, and of course the love and unity that it brings together.
My question goes to the big sheikh.
I am an awardee.
I know.
So,
but you need to also help us to throw light on this.
Yeah.
Especially
You were in 76 team. I know specifically you talked about those who couldn't recover, or we have discussed the issue of charting the Israeli. Who was on top of the world to win a gold medal at that event. He couldn't recover and he couldn't. We know it. You were the captain of the 1980 team. Like you said, some have passed away. In trying to honor those who were in both games, for those who have died, is the committee going to perhaps maybe extend whatever you're doing here to the family they left behind, since they are no more? Thank you.
it's not me now.
All right, my chairman.
Yeah, what we announced on the day we did this seminar, there will be posthumous award for them, posthumous award. And on the issue of free flights, that can be only for those who are alive, not the family. However, when it comes to money, because definitely we are going to give out money to them. I would rather whoever is there, I hope we are not going to cause problem the next of kin. That's another thing. But also, I would have loved to do something for those left behind. But it cause serious problem. Your magnanimity now might not do another thing. So maybe we'll leave it at the Small's Award and with their name on the Hall of Fame. But I'm sure those that are left behind might be presenting them. That they're still we are still thinking about what to do for the ball. If we notice that it will be well if something is released to us, then we'll do so. I'm in favor of giving something to those that don't have, either the children or the wives, or their own parents, if they are still alive. But by the time we go through the list, we'll be able to know what to do.
The pathetic picture Uncle Shania just painted is so disheartening. But what I actually want to say is to our chairman, please, whatever you are doing for the country, continue to do it. Don't look, we are behind you, and you, of course, you know that. Right from your days in amnesty struggle and all, we will be following you. So whatever you do for the country, continue to do it. Don't listen to them. Don't join issues with them. You know, they don't have the kind of capacity that you have to do all those things. It could be as a result of envy, so many things and all. But continue to do what you are doing, and God will continue to bless you. We really appreciate this gesture that you want to have.
And what happened on that particular day in Montreal, when message got to the Nigerian camp that you guys have to pack your bags and baggages and return. How did the athletes feel? You know, I think it would be good for people to know. Perhaps maybe some felt, no, we need to stay back, or no, this is a call from the country, we have to return. Go. And, you know, then, for you, sir, you've really done well for Nigerian football. We know about your partnership with the Nigerian Football Federation and what you've been doing for the Super Eagles. You know, and that has really helped the team. Not just the team, individual players too knew what you did when Ahmed Musa got his 100 cap for the country. And now you're taking it even way back, yeah, you know, to our heroes who, you know, actually did this country proud. But, you know, they had to, you know, unfortunately, to pass through this in the last 47 years. What has been that drive, that motivation, you know, towards football and sports in general for Nigeria? Thank you.
Just for love of country, I believe that if I support this kind of project, it will help in nation building. Some people have sacrificed their opportunities for the nation, and the nation forgot them for a long time. You as a youth, knowing fully well that somebody sacrifices opportunities for this nation and the person has never been appreciated, you will not be motivated to do anything for the country. So mine trying to call back those who boycotted the Montreal Olympics in 1976 and those who won for the nation for the first time in the Nations Cup in 1980, trying to bring them back and honor them is a way of helping nation building, so that youth like you will remember that, okay, if I do right, if I sacrifice for my country, I'll be remembered. That is the motivation. It's all about nation building.
Well, most people don't know that Ale, I'm calling him Ale because he's a football man, was a great football player.
I'm talking about he was asking for
I know. This man played even in Ibadan. When I was in Ibadan, he was also playing in the Ibadan League. He was in a club in Ibadan. When I was in Niia, he was playing in the Ibadan League. And when he was in UI, he was in the same team in football with people like Jaifos, Kennedy Jaifos, who was in Shooting Stars, with Adeboke, Matthew Inyama. They were all playing for UI and that. So this man is a consummate football player. Aside from that, you know those who win Victor Ludovic and those who combine different sports. The man was a supreme athlete. Go and check his records in UI and at the university game. You find that this man has just been silent, but he's a real sportsman like the rest of us. So anyway, on that day in Montreal, we had been there for about 8 days, and that was our first experiences in Montreal in an Olympic Games. And it was out of this world, because food was 24 hours, and everybody from all over the world, all of you were in the camp and just going up and down. There was music, artists playing on one side, all manner. It was a festival. So we were thoroughly enjoying it. The Nigerian team played a friendly match against Canada. Canada were the hosts. We played them and we defeated them by 3-0. If you check the records, the Canadian team got to the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, we beat them hands down. On the day that this thing happened, we were actually supposed to play Brazil. Brazil withdrew from playing us. We had such a fantastic team. So our spirit was very high. Excitement was on top of the world. More so, we had some of the best athletes in the world at that time. Lee Evans, who was cool, believed that our relay quartet in the 4x400, made up of Dele Udo, Felix Imadi, Bruce Ijirigo, and one other, could have won a medal in 1976. We had David Seande, you remember the boxer? Yes. 2 years later, he became the only African to win the world, welterweight or lightweight boxing. He was, up till now, he's the only Nigerian to have won that amateur boxing title as a world champion. He was in that team in 1976. Obise Awampa was at his best as an amateur in that year. Charlton Israeli had just jumped the longest jump, a long jump and triple jump in the world. He was going there as a potential gold or silver medalist. So we had all of those people. Spirit was high. Our boxing coach was Achimor, the world light heavyweight boxing champion. It was a supreme team that was ready to win medals, and all our spirits were high. On the eve, we just got notice that we should assemble. And they assembled us in Abraham Odia's room. And they told us that, well, unfortunately, we would not be participating in the Olympic Games. That we should go and pack our things. We had, I don't know whether it's 1 hour or 2 hours to move our things and leave the Olympic Games. If you know the rules of the Olympics, you can still participate, but not representing your country. As an individual, you can still go and participate, which has been happening since then, since 1976. So many athletes have been participating, but you won't represent your country. So we had that option to have still gone ahead to participate, but we wouldn't be representing Nigeria. Charlton Israeli could have taken that route, because that was his one shot at fame and fortune. However, we all just met. Why? We didn't fully understand that it was, the meaning of apartheid. That was the first time we heard apartheid, South Africa, and all of that, and all of that. But the message was coming from the president of Nigeria. So we all just rushed, went and packed our things. They gave us, I think, 1 hour. And if you recall, once you go to the Olympics, you don't know when you are going to leave. So there's no flight. No flight arrangements are made. So when you get there, depending on where you stop, you stop. They will start making flight arrangements. But we had 1 hour to pack our things. So we packed those things, and they bundled us into a bus and took us to the airport. 27 countries. There was a scramble, everybody, because we all had to leave. When we got to the airport, the place was jam-packed with black athletes. No flights to take them anywhere. They were all sitting on the ground or lying, because no seats again to sit. And you just see that white people were looking at the athletes, the different countries. But fortunately for us, we had a president. That's why we must also commend Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who was president at that time. He ordered that a brand new plane, DC-10, that had never been used, was still in the hangar in Atlanta, should be released to bring us to Nigeria. So as we waited at the airport, we saw the plane taxi, just freshly painted, brand new, never been used. We were the first Africans to have been lifted out of Montreal, and that was within hours of our getting to the airport. But it was the most shattering experience of our lives to be at the doorstep of the Olympic Games and not to go in and participate.
So don't just be bothered by what people say. Definitely, like my father would always say, a tree that does not bear fruit, nobody throws stones at them. When you see children throwing stones at a tree, that tree must have, good fruits that are very sweet. And that is exactly what you are. And then to this, the man seated on your right, I think he's the right man. He also has gone through many ups and downs. And I think that in bringing this project, I don't think there is no other better person, other than Chief Shego Dewa. Sorry, I don't call him my chief. We always call him mathematical. While also growing up, hearing about him, I thought when they called him mathematical, I thought he was related to Chikobi, because of mathematics. Then I later realized that his own mathematics, he was calculating it with his left and right, leg. I want to say that mathematical, has been blessed by God. For all the people that you mentioned in 76, in 1980, I've never seen a man that has been so active, for so many good reasons. I always heard about jack of all trades, master of none. With mathematical, he is jack of all trades and master of all. Thank you for this. I want to make a pledge on those of us that write sports, my colleagues who are here. Perhaps, looking at me, you will even be surprised why I should be the one leading giants. There are so many of them that are not there. But then I think it pleases them to, bring me forward to be their president. But I must say that for this noble cause that you people have chosen, to wake up memories, to bring back tears of joy to so many homes and to Nigeria, that we in sports will definitely embrace this wholeheartedly. So, whatever you do, I think this is our own contribution of making sure, that we also join in the nation building that the AP's man has started. We will do this willingly, and of course we will also do it. And let me just say too that I think the Ministry of Youth and Sports should equally embrace this noble project that they're doing. And also those in the Nigeria Football Federation, though they say they stay in glass house, most of the glasses are falling off. So we should try as much as possible to bring them to this. I think that it also touches me, part of our national anthem, efforts of labors of our heroes past shall not be in vain. I think this is one particular aspect that you have embraced, remembering those who have toiled. Some of them thought that everything they did was in vain. But here we are now, somebody is bringing it up. God will bless both the people that thought they toiled in vain, and of course, the man behind this project. He will never, ever toil in vain.
Amen. Really appreciate your time and efforts to come and make this program a success. I would like to start by saying thank you to, first and foremost, God Almighty. I don't believe, you can build a house, but God does not build it, you build it. So I'd like to thank God Almighty for the inherent grace upon our lives to be here today, to even foster this program. Secondly, I'd like to thank my dad, the person of Chief Barrister Dr. Allen. It is something for as a child to always look up to your parents, and for me and my siblings, we are one of the proudest children in this nation, even the world, really, to see your dad constantly out there preaching and fighting for what's right. It is very hard to do so. It's very hard to do so in a nation like ours, but yet consistently and waveringly, he fights through and perseveres. So to him, I say a very big thank you for this project, for allowing me, the younger generation, to be part of it. I say thank you. So I cannot say enough thanks, but also to Mr. Chief Goldmyne. Honestly, the first day he came to the house to pitch this idea, it was the first thing after when he left was I googled him. I wanted to find his age, and I was like, wow. He's so agile for his age, and I wish we all grow as graciously as he does. Yeah. But at the same time, when he came to the house, he told me I should get my notepad and I should jot down what he's about to say. And honestly, I'm truly amazed and I'm truly thrilled, to say the least, of how much knowledge I was able to sit and tap from him. One thing I've come to realize is that if you try and Google things about, like you said, our heroes' efforts, you hardly find them. So to be able to find a source that can tell you so much in so many details about what has happened is truly something to be thankful for. The Chief of Goldmyne told me that this program is not just for now. It is also to send a message to generations to come. When they did this, we are loving his Kike attend our was not born. I was not even born then. So. But
I'm over 40.
but it means a lot to be carried along because it gives us a self of patriotism. Like you said, the works of a hero's passion never be one. We need to teach this nation that it's something of being a Nigerian first and not just by ethnicity. I coined out something, and it says that patriotism should always be encouraged because it's when you believe in that ideology of patriotism that you begin to exude excellence. And you really believe in excellence. By the time you believe in excellence, you produce nothing but excellence. So, teaching people that to believe in Nigeria, that like Nigeria is not a failed hope. Yes, we know the current situation in the country. Everybody is looking for the nearest exit. But if we begin to encourage people that, okay, there are other people that are here that are willing to move things, that are willing to make sure that there's a place you can be proud of that is your home. So let's do the very most at least to encourage that person, encourage the ideas, and encourage the visions. I thank all of you here and I hope to see you on July 28th. Thank you.
Video. For more entertaining video content such as behind the scenes of music videos and movies, music concerts, premieres, interviews, and exclusive gists, subscribe now to our YouTube channel GoldmyneTV and be unleashed into a world of super excitement.